I just started the video and I wasn't even recording. So that's cool. Hey guys, May here, and today I'm doing a video. I don't even know what I'm doing in this video, to be honest, but I knew that when all these albums came in the mail, I had to make a video. Today is actually the 1 month anniversary, I believe, of Jonghyun's passing, and I really wanted to make a video in regards to it, but when it happened, I could not do it. It was one of the reasons I took so long off of filming, and I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do when, I wanted to do a video when all of my Jonghyun albums came in the mail, because I did buy some because I knew they were going to go out of print, and I'd really been wanting them for a while, and I kept putting off buying them, and then finally I was like, really wish I hadn't put off buying them this long. Just going to do a little talking. I don't really know what I want to say or what I want to do, but Jonghyun has released 4 albums that I'm aware of. If there are more, do let me know. But I do have his She Is album, and I also have this version of his bass album. Both of these I bought kind of when they came out, and then he released OP1 and OP2, and these are the 2 that I recently bought. So my Jonghyun collection is complete. I'm really happy that it's complete. I know that there was an album he was working on just days before he passed, and if that ever comes out, you know that I will be buying it. I feel like it's been better recently. I know there are still a lot of people who are mourning, very much mourning, and I still think about him all the time. And I'm really happy to have his music. I have not listened to either of these albums yet. I looked through them because I wanted to do that on my own time. I didn't want to do like an unboxing. I probably won't listen to them for a little bit, but I'm still happy that I own them. I'm happy that I have this piece of Jonghyun with me, at least. I know a lot of people are really struggling to find these albums. I bought both of these off of eBay, by the way. Yeah, the morning that it happened, I worked the morning shift, so I woke up super early. And I kind of woke up at the worst possible time. I woke up at the time that there were rumors that he had passed, and nobody was really sure of what was happening, so it was just the worst feeling, like 5 a.m. looking at my phone, just like I normally do when my alarm goes off, like scrolling through, and I saw like the name Jonghyun, and I was like, well, they don't mean Shiny's Jonghyun. Like that can't be who they're talking about. That doesn't make any sense. Like, why would they do that? Why would somebody make up a rumor like this? Like, that's awful. And everybody was kind of just like attacking news sites and attacking people who were reporting this, and they were saying that's not true, there's no way this can be true. And I just remember seeing one tweet in particular saying, I'm sorry, but there's no article saying that Jonghyun is still alive. And I remember seeing that article, that little tweet, like that tiny little tweet, and I just remember being a mess at 5 in the morning, being like, this isn't a thing. Like, there were some reports that were saying he's on his way to the hospital, like there's some reports saying that he's completely fine, but like not really. There were like a couple when I first woke up, but then those all got squished within like 5 minutes after me like looking at my phone. Just a mess, just awful. I did not want to get out of bed. I literally sat there and I was like, I do not want to do anything today. I do not want to get up. I do not want to go to work. I do not want to smile and be happy in front of a bunch of people today. I don't want to, I want to sit here, but also part of me knew that if I sat there all day, I was just going to cry and feel awful and just so much. So somehow I got out of bed. I don't remember what finally motivated me to get out of bed. Probably my clock being like, I have like 10 minutes to get ready for work. And I just remember like brushing my teeth, like doing my makeup, and like brushing my hair, whatever, and looking at my phone and like continuously scrolling, and people waking up and knowing that this has happened and realizing this has happened was just awful. It was the worst thing in the world. And I originally was supposed to work a later shift that day, so if I had worked that later shift, I wouldn't have gotten up at 5, but I switched with my coworker because she went to go see the new Star Wars movie that day. And the night before at like 1 a.m. and she was like, I can't, like, will you switch with me? So I was like, yeah, okay, like, whatever. So it's so funny to think about that now. And I think it still would have been really hard for me if I hadn't seen it as it was happening, sitting in my home in the United States and knowing that this is all happening in Korea and not being able to, well, I mean, if I was in Korea, I wouldn't have been able to do anything anyways, but just hearing all this information after it had been translated was just so hard to wait for it and just to know what happened. And I feel like, and I got to work, it was the day that I was supposed to work morning shift with one of my coworkers, and she got the flu, so she didn't come in. So it was just me, which has happened before where I've been the only one opening in the morning, and it's not usually a big deal. I just kind of put my head down, do my work, and just kind of like power through it all, because it's always hard. It's never easy to be the only one opening. There was another girl who was supposed to come in at 9, and she also was sick. So the girl who I switched with was coming in at 12 that day, because she's a part-timer, so she doesn't work as long as shifts as I do. And I just remember like my boss coming back and continuously telling me like, this person's not coming, this person's not coming, you being pulled in like 10 different directions, thinking about Jonghyun. Every second I got a second to breathe, just like thinking about what was happening and like looking at my phone and something happened and I just like cracked and I just started crying at work. Like I did. It was awful. It was really awful. I'm laughing about it right now, but I still think about it and I'm like, that was awful. And nobody at work really knew like kind of what had happened before I came into work. They all thought it was stress related because everybody was calling out sick and there were a lot of things going on and everybody needed help. So I was trying to help other departments while doing my job, and it was just so much. And I just like started crying, and I've never like done this before. I felt like I was having a mental breakdown like at work. Like I never do that. And I'm the kind of person that once I start crying, I don't know how to stop myself. So I just will like take a deep breath and then I'll be like, I'm okay, and then I'll start crying again. And so many people like came in and they saw me and they were like, oh my gosh, are you okay? And like one of my coworkers went and told my boss. She was like, Carolyn, like she's crying, like what do we do? And I was like, so I've never done it before, but I like went into the bathroom and I just stood there and I was like, I cannot think about this right now. I need to get through this day. I leave at 4 o'clock. I just need to get through this day and just not keep crying all day, because I don't want to get sent home because I'm like not ready to be there. I don't know what it was. I was like, I'm not going to go home. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to do my job. And there was another person that was supposed to help close that night, and they also called out. Everybody called out. Everybody except the girl I switched with called out that day. So it was just like really awful, and she was newer than me. So my boss was like, do you mind staying the entire day and just working the entire day? I did. I said yes. And I just remember being like, if I go home at 4 o'clock, I'm just going to cry all night. So if I stay here a couple extra hours, like maybe I'll just be so exhausted by the time I get done with this that I will just go home and fall asleep, and just that'll be the end to my day. He's been one of my favorite people in K-pop for 9 years, and just the way that it happened, what he did, I mean, I don't remember him by all of that stuff, so I hope you don't think that, but just knowing that he was going through all that and he made so many people happy and so many people looked up to him and admired him, and kind of just the way that the whole K-pop community shut down, like that was his effect, really. Like he was loved by so many, and it was just so sad, and I just felt so bad all day. And the next day, I didn't feel great either. I worked an early morning the next day, and I was afraid to go to sleep that night because I was like, what if I wake up tomorrow and something else has happened? Because I know he had so much effect on so many people, that what if those people decide to follow him? And I don't like, it was just awful. It was a wreck. I was a wreck for so long. And even a month later, talking about this, it's still really hard. I wasn't expecting it to be this hard, but it's really hard to talk about. And I know everybody made a bunch of videos when it happened and they talked and they cried, and I was like, I just don't want to do that. So that's why I decided I'd wait until these albums came. I will listen to them someday, and it's not going to be, definitely not going to be today at this point, but I'm happy to have them. I didn't get a photo card in this one. I don't know if it was a first press thing or whatever, I don't really care. But I did get a photo card in this one. Let me show you my photo card in this one. I haven't taken it out yet, but I do have a couple other Jonghyun photo cards that sit in my binder with my Minnow collection. And yeah, I don't think I'll ever be able to get rid of them now. It's, yeah. I think the next hardest part after that, because I feel like the day after that was just a bunch of like news, was like the news of SHINee being at his funeral and all the people who went to his funeral. And there were some like people who were like, my bias didn't go to Jonghyun's funeral, and I was like, this is not about your bias. Like, it's not. I was like, if Super Junior better go, because like they should go. Like, they will definitely go, and I think they were one of the first people there, honestly, that I heard about at least. Might just be the kinds of people I follow. And I was like, I don't really care if Infinite go. If they go, that's great. Like, I don't think Monsta X is gonna go. I don't really care. It's not about my biases. It's not about any of that. And the fact that Hoya also went along with Infinite, not like together, but they both went, was really nice to hear. But like I said, wouldn't have been the end of the world if they hadn't gone. I'm just really gonna miss him. I'm really proud of SHINee. I haven't read their letters, but I do know the extent of what they say, for them continuing on as 4, and that's amazing. And I think that if you have ever said anything bad about SHINee, that you should feel real bad about it, because they by far are one of the strongest groups in K-pop for doing this, for having a concert in February. Like, are they okay? Like, you know, like, oh my gosh. That's insane that they're doing that. This whole situation, everybody was like, SHINee is, that's it for SHINee. Like, they're not going to be able to continue. And they have, and I'm just really proud of them, and I just hope that 2018 brings nothing but good things for them. And I will definitely be, I mean, I've always supported their music, but I will definitely be pre-ordering their next album, because they deserve it. They deserve everything in the world after what they've been through in 2017. And oh, you know what was also really, really hard? I just made that whole thing about like, it's not about your bias, it's not about your bias, but Donghae was carrying Jonghyun's casket, and I didn't want to see photos of the funeral because I knew it was going to mess me up. But I did randomly come across them on the internet of Donghae and, you know, the other SHINee members and the other Super Junior members who were who helped carry his casket and everything, and that was so sad. It was so sad. So I think that's all I wanted to say in this video. I just knew, like, I almost didn't film this. I've tried to like start filming this a couple times, and I've just been like, you know, I'm gonna do it another day, I'm gonna do it another day. And then a couple days ago I was like, maybe I won't do it at all, like maybe I just won't. And I was like, I can't just, I know that it's been a month, and I know that a lot of people not have moved on, but they're at peace, or just they're feeling better at least about what happened. I was like, I need to make this video even if nobody watches it, because I need, for me, to not move on from the situation, but for me to accept what has happened. I need to make a video. Yeah, and I won't be monetizing this, of course, because why would I do that? That's not cool at all. I just wanted to say this. Like I said, if it only gets 1 view, if nobody even watches it, I don't even care. I just needed to do this for my own peace of mind. Yeah, I couldn't just not make, I know I made like my top 10, was it my top 10? No, my top 10, I made something in the description. I was like, I'm sorry, I can't do my top 10 video. It's just not going to happen. I'm just not ready to talk in front of a camera yet again. I think it was in, oh my gosh, the day that this happened, this 5 a.m. thing, I saw that and I was like, I have a Comebacks I Want in 2018 video coming out. I scheduled it for like 10 a.m. or something like that. That's when I usually do it. And I was like, I mentioned a shiny comeback. That is so, like, I cannot post that. So when I re-edited it, I did mention FX as well, but I mentioned them so, shiny and FX, like, so together that I just had to edit out that whole entire section and not talk about FX, because I was like, it's gonna be choppy, it's gonna be weird, I'm gonna take this whole part out. But I was talking about like how excited I was for a shiny comeback in 2018. I was like smiling, happy, because I filmed this on December 8th and I had no idea what was gonna happen. So I felt really awful. So like one of the first things I did, one of the first things I did when I could finally move, was grab my laptop and just delete that. Actually, I think I scheduled it for tomorrow because that was the easiest thing I could do at the time at 5 a.m. when I had like 2 seconds. That was my story. I think he'll always be my second bias, and he'll always be someone who's so important to me and just made so many people happy, and I'm just wasn't expecting this video to be this long. So I'm going to go. My voice is cracking. I'm gonna go. But I hope that I don't really care what you think of this video, to be honest, because I just needed to make it. It was for me. Like, it wasn't making it for you guys. I wasn't making it for anybody else. I just needed to make it for myself. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry if this really darkened your day if you decided to watch it, but I feel like if you saw the title of this video, you kind of knew what we were getting into. I've meant to like flip through these albums and look at the photo books or something while I was talking, and it just didn't happen. This is, like I said, I went into this video and I was like, I don't really know what I want to do, so here it is. Let's hope for a great 2018, full of happiness and all good things for our favorite people. Yeah. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye!